You're tuned in to the Kansas City Weather Report, your daily source for the latest local forecast right here in KC. Whether you're planning your commute, weekend barbecue, or just trying to figure out if you need that extra layer, Wes has you covered. So let's dive into today's forecast.
To the Kansas City Weather Report. I'm meteorologist Wes Peary. Today, Thursday, August 20th, and here is what's up with the weather. And maybe a little bit foggy out there for some of you, especially if you're getting up real early with me. Wow, really early with me. This morning, all the rainfall from yesterday, the previous night, especially on the north side of town, still making the ground pretty foggy. 2 to 4 inches of rainfall occurred there. It's going back into the air as well. So if it is dense where you are, hopefully it's not messing with your travel situation too much. The humidity, it's going to slowly creep back up, I think, over the next couple of days. Temperatures, though, still pretty comfortable this morning. Upper 60s to near 70 degrees out the door. Lunchtime, we're sitting near about 75 to 80. And then middle 80s today with the heat index. Upper 80s to near 90 as some sunshine breaks out later on this afternoon. Evening temperatures probably in the lower 80s there for dinner time. Friday, tomorrow, the heat, the humidity come up even more. Highs close to 90 on Friday. The heat index middle, perhaps upper 90s as well, with some clouds returning in the afternoon and the evening. Today and tomorrow are quite typical late August days, very average with highs in the upper 80s. A chance for a complex of thunderstorms to blow through, which reminds me, I'll in just a minute go through what happened with all the storms just the other night, as now we've had time to kind of review all the radar data, which I didn't have time to get through on yesterday's podcast. Nonetheless, a complex of thunderstorms possible Friday night into Saturday that may impact mostly the Kansas side, but with us still being a couple of days out from this, everybody is on the table to maybe deal with a line of thunderstorms overnight there. Then showers might be left for Saturday with sunshine in the afternoon, highs in the upper 80s for Saturday. And Sunday, not as confident in rain anymore. It still looks like a maybe partly cloudy day, easterly wind. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy. I mean, even if it doesn't rain, it still may end up being a pretty comfortable day with lower humidity and highs like 80 to 85 degrees. Rain starting to look a little bit more likely or more probable. Sunday night into Monday, some Monday morning rain showers possible to start your work week back off with clouds lingering throughout the day, highs in the lower 80s overall. We got this persistent northerly and easterly wind, which is just going to stop us from getting too terribly warm on many of these days. Nonetheless, still trying to get back up near 90, if not just in the upper 80s. We'll just say 85 to 90 degrees from Tuesday into the following week. Hints at some more rainfall around Tuesday or Wednesday, and generally don't really see any perfectly clear skies coming up either. So just kind of muddy enough with the clouds and a northerly and an easterly wind to stave off some of the high heat. And humidity is still going to be noticeable, but again, this doesn't look like an impending heat wave coming next week. And that's always a nice little victory. If you felt the aches and pains from pressure last night, I hope you're feeling better. Hope you're recovering. This pressure stays relatively elevated through the weekend before another pressure fall coming. These aren't really huge falls. It's like the pressure goes up, stays up for a few days. It's that way through Sunday. And then around Monday and through Thursday, the pressure falls a little bit, stays kind of down there, and then tries to recover for that. So I don't think any of these impending pressure changes are going to be causing many issues overall. Pollen report, the Kansas City Allergy and Asthma Associates pollen report. Go to kcallergy.com. to get the latest pollen report and see how they can help out with any of your allergy and asthma needs. That calls for medium or moderate levels of mold and kind of low to moderate count on the weeds and the grass. Ragweed and nettle being reported there on the pollens, and then good old cladosporium. There was one that was in the pollen report yesterday. Can I pull it up? I was a little surprised to see it. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. But I was like, this floats around in the air. It's not rusts, but it is always weird to see like rusts in the air. Rust, but I can't find it. Anyway, it just rained a bunch, so I would expect for the mold to stay medium, elevated, maybe moderate. And then if we get some sunshine coming out over the next few days, I'm sure the weeds will respond with that as well. So, I don't really see a huge decrease overall. We're probably going to need some sort of prolonged dry period to get a lot of this stuff to fall. And sure, that might show up around Wednesday onward into next week, but with us being relatively active and all the rainfall we got yesterday, if you're suffering from allergies, I don't see any major changes coming anytime soon. Again, kcallergy.com if you want to take on your allergy symptoms professionally. They can help you out. Recapping the forecast. Some fog possible where you are this morning, becoming sunny by the afternoon. Highs near 85 today, pushing 90 on Friday with the heat and humidity pushing things in the middle to upper 90s. The chance of thunderstorms Friday night into Saturday. Highs still near 90 on Saturday, lower 80s for Sunday. Chance of rain again Sunday night into Monday with some clouds around for Monday, another cool day there. And then returning back into the upper 80s with humidity sticking around at least for a few days in the middle part of next week. Thank you so much for joining me for this edition of the Kansas City Weather Report. You can follow me on social media at West Weather. And before I go, I forgot to explain this again. So what happened on Tuesday night into Wednesday was a downburst. And what made this especially significant was the amount of hail that was inside of this storm. There was a lot of moisture. And so to get hail, you need moisture and you need nuclei or cloud condensation nuclei. It can be like dust, it can be pollen, it can be like soot, like whatever, like factories release, like anything floating around in the air. Moisture can condense onto it and then freeze, and then you get hail. So there was so much moisture in the air that there's so many available pieces to turn into hail. And so this one storm that came through between 1 and 2 a.m. had extra lift with it. And so it was able to lift up a lot of nuclei and moisture and just create hail with it. So much so that it eventually dumped out the hail, like seemingly on Wyandotte County and parts of Jackson County and Leavenworth County as well. And so since the mass of the hail was so heavy, the damage it did was like a tornado or very bad straight line winds. We had a downburst happen in, was it like Lee Summit or Belton, a couple weeks ago. People were convinced it was a tornado. It was a downburst. Supercells, I know they can produce a tornado, but this was a different type of supercell in which there's no evidence that it did. But the damage that was done was still really bad. And I think that is something that's really difficult for people to understand. Like, other forms of weather can do really bad damage akin to a tornado. In fact, you could say that this downburst actually did more damage than a tornado because it was spread over a larger area. So that's what that was. I hope everybody has their power back on. If you're listening to me from Wyandotte County, especially the KCK area, I think got hit the hardest. So I hope you get it back on soon, and it's going to be hot. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a good one.